Episode 1648 of the Too Thicc Pod, your home for all things sports, cards, and levity. I'm Jeremy, joined by my son, as always, Manuel.
What's up? And this episode is brought to you by Blue Chew. If you don't know, now you know. We have tummy sweats and beef sticks on the ones and twos, and brought to you by the people's Mailman and the cousin Tony, the architect. We have Cousins Collectibles in the building.
That's a hell of an entrance, brother.
Wow.
Hey, that's the best I got. I had it with eyes, and that was the best.
Manny, you got to go to the bathroom, man. You're pacing. I feel like we should just pause. You can go to the bathroom and we can start over.
What it is, man. It's that beat, dog. That beat you guys going on. Every time I hear that, I just feel like moving, man.
Yeah, that stuff gets hyped before you get started. So before we even introduce it, how about them Cowboys, baby? How about them Cowboys? Give it to him, Oz. Give it to him, Tony.
Who? Come on, bro.
America's team, the Cowboys.
Manny,
Micah Parsons, Dak, Zeke. That's all I heard from Manny. We're going to the Super Bowl. That's all I heard. Now you're confronted with some Eagle fans, and he shut the fuck up and is sitting there taking it. Show him how Philly rolls.
Listen, bro. First of all, man, did you actually think that was even a thing, a possibility, dog? No, I'm being serious. Like dead ass. Like dead ass.
A little bit.
A little bit, right?
I'm not like the normal Cowboys fans where we go like 4-1 and we're like Super Bowl. I'm more.
No, but y'all made the playoffs.
We won a game. We beat.
You won a game.
I was like, we're going.
Listen, I'm not gonna front. I was like, I seen the beatdown that you guys put. I was like, oh, Cowboys. I don't know. And I was telling Tony, I was like, listen, bro. I said I'd rather play Dallas than the Niners. Honestly, I said I fear Dallas. I mean, the Niners more than I do Dallas. I said my perfect scenario to get to the Super Bowl would to be smack down the Giants and then smack down the Cowboys to make it to the Super Bowl. Go run through the NFC East, and then I said after that, bro, we could talk shit forever. Like, yo, NFC East, screw you guys. We went right through you to the Super Bowl. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. The Niners, It was a close game. It was a close game.
I mean, people say it was the NFL's rigged, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they wanted Eagles versus Chiefs.
But I tell you what, if we just discussed earlier, if it is rigged, the Cowboys would be there every year because they're America's team. Yeah. And I haven't seen that in over 30 years, so I don't know. I'm gonna have to question that. What do you think, Tone?
Yeah. Mediocre Manny. Let's go with that. All right.
That's my stuff. So what do you guys prefer? To lose in the Super Bowl or Jeremy's Super Bowl? Jeremy's Super Bowl is getting the number one pick. So I'm the only loser on this show. Jeremy got the number one pick. You guys are in the Super Bowl, and my team sucks. So we didn't suck enough, right, Jeremy?
Yeah. You guys. Yeah, that's the worst place to be. Is I always say if you're in, especially in the NBA though, that's a whole nother. If you're in NBA purgatory, that's the worst. So you either suck really bad, which by the way, the Bears not only did they have that, but they got a ton of cap space.
Don't
over 100 milli, baby. Over 100 milli.
So not like for real. When if you can hit a player or two, and you're on that when it's about having that quarterback, that rookie contract that's nice and friendly to get a couple pieces. Just look out. You got Aaron Rodgers.
Look at the Eagles. You know what I mean. Their formula, what they did, building the lines. You guys got the quarterback. Get him some weapons. Get a nice run. I mean, are you guys going to stick with Montgomery, or are you guys going to get maybe another running back?
I think Montgomery sticks around. He's solid. I'd like to see what he could do when he's not the sole focus of the offense, when you could put 8 and 9 in the box and just stuff the run. There's a couple weapons. Maybe the tight end develops into his own. But, it's a great day for Philadelphia and Chicago. And I will say this before, I'm not going to just shit on Dallas all day, but they are like Notre Dame. They have never won anything of substance in like the last 20 years, yet the fans walk around like they are God's gift to earth, or they are the epitome of excellence. And I have no idea where it comes from.
So this will be on video. So the last time, and I mean, Manny's kind of young, so he might not ever seen one of these things. And this is a VHS tape. And Manny, that is where you guys can relive all those glory days on VHS.
I was 5.
And if you don't rewind that, Manny, they charge you $1.50.
That is true.
Rewind.
Yes.
Be kind, rewind.
Be kind, rewind. Because that you don't want to go back, and when you're digging through the bin where people are putting the new movies in, You know, they're gonna flag your account. You don't want to be that guy. So just be kind, rewind, please.
I'm fine.
If somebody's paying attention, me and Oz just totally outed ourselves on our age.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember the little sticker.
Oh, bro,
old
yeah.
geezers.
Yeah.
No, I was 5 when they won the last time they won the Super Bowl, so I don't remember that.
Nobody, bro. I think I was what? That was 96.
Yeah,
right?
you had perm, didn't you?
That was my glory days, bro. I was what, 21 years old?
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, bro. That's when Oz was getting it in, but I can't remember a thing because I was drinking too much back in those days.
Here's the thing, Manny. I was alive for the 85 Super Bowl, and in Chicago, it is the greatest thing ever. But me, as a Bears fan, I said, like, if we're an excellent organization, we need to move on. So in my mind, even as a Bulls fan, I can acknowledge and recognize the 90s, what Jordan did, 6 championships in 8 years. But in the last 20 years, we haven't been shit.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why other fans can't accept that.
Yeah, don't get it twisted. In Philly, for the longest time, our biggest thing was the Wing Bowl. It was freaking the Wing Bowl came about because we wouldn't make the Super Bowl, so they would have this thing, and that was
we would just get together in Philly, eat wings and look at females dressed, scantily clad,
right?
To say the least. So that was what our Super Bowl for many years.
Yeah. And now you guys are the city of champions. It seems like you got Phillies in the World Series. Now the Eagles in the Super Bowl.
Almost champions. We gotta get
okay. So you guys are the almost city of almost
the Union, almost champions.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So 42 minutes into this thing, and we're gonna properly introduce you. We've got Cousin Oz and Tony from Cousins Collectibles, one of our personal favorite podcasts. And I would be lying. Up until National, I had never heard. I was aware of it, but I never took the time to check it out. And by the grace of God, and I don't know how it happened, we got to spend some quality time in Atlantic City, got to know you, and we were lucky enough to be guests on your awesome pod. And since then, you guys have just exploded. You guys are doing lives every night. You're on every major platform. Your phone number's changed, trying to talk to your booking agent to get you guys booked. Holy shit. What a deal. You guys have absolutely exploded. So congratulations on all the success. For those who don't know, who is Cousin Oz and who is Cousin Tony?
Go ahead, Tony. I'll let you go first, bro. You're the architect. You put this all together.
Right. For sure. We got to talk to our agent because she was like, yeah, can you guys do the show? I was like, really, bro? We got to do that step down stuff? I was like, whatever, I guess.
Yes. Yeah. She told me, Tony, she said, your response was, oh, hell no, not in what that pro bono shit.
Yeah. So, needless to say, we're going to be writing this off on our taxes as a charitable contribution. So, but nah, brothers, listen, we definitely appreciate you guys. Like I said, when we talked, we have a blast meeting you guys in Atlantic City. That was like talking to you guys like we knew you forever. So it was sweet kicking it with you guys. As far as who we are 2 cousins. We are related. We do a podcast. It comes out on Mondays. We do a YouTube live on Thursdays. Although this week we'll be live tomorrow because we got some other stuff going on. But we just kick it, man. We talk cards. Yeah. We don't do a lot of value-based content. It's more stuff like this where we just talk about cards, what they mean to you, what do you collect, why do you collect, just nostalgia filled. We're talking some jokes. Obviously, we talk about our passion for our Philly teams. That's a big part of our show. Other than that, man, it's just what we do here is not much different than what we do off the air. Other than we don't curse. I at least try not to curse. Oz is a bit of a potty mouth. But that's neither here nor there.
It's amazing, guys. This guy over here, you get him off the camera and you want to talk about,
I don't want to get canceled. This guy tries to get us canceled every week.
Hey, I'm just following suit of our brethren up here. You know what I mean? Like the too thick, they don't give a damn, bro. It's like, yo,
right. I'm
trying to be the Puerto Rican Gary V. You know what I mean? It's just like, I'm just gonna say this and that. And you're either gonna love me or you're gonna hate me. But we try to keep it, PG whenever we can. But there's sometimes things get a little heated. But yeah, like he said, we're 2 cousins, real cousins, and dude, this is what we've been doing our whole lives, just talking sports. And we got back into collecting a few years back. And here we are doing our thing. And Tony had the bright idea of, yo, man, let's just hit the record button. I'm like, what are you talking about? Are you crazy? Like, I've never done any kind of pod or like, how do you even do that? And he's like, don't worry about that. I'll take care of the technical side. You just show up. You know, you're the star of the show. I'm like, yeah, okay, or whatever. He's like, no, I got you. I'm going to make you into a star. And I just used to laugh. And listen, I'm by no means a star. They'll be like, oh, that cousin Oz, he thinks he's just so great. The best thing since sliced bread. That's not it. You know what I mean? I just like to have fun. And, you know, Tony and I, we just have that back and forth banter similar to you guys. And we just like to have fun, talk sports, talk cards, and get it in. And then the whole thing with our show, we like to do interviews. We like to talk to people, regular collectors, you know, big wigs in the hobby, whoever we can get on the pod and just hear their story, not just what they have. You know, oh, I got this card, that card. That's great. But we want to hear, you know, how you collect and how you feel when you get that stuff, not just, you know, oh, I purchased this card for $50,000. Look at it. It's so cool. Nah. Let's go get, you know, behind it. Let's get the psyche behind it. And how do you really feel? And, you know, what are you looking to do with your collection? So we try to get a little bit deeper than the average show.
I love it. I love it. And the production of their show is amazing. They had us on, right? Like Jeremy was saying, I know Tony was working overtime trying to get all my out of their podcast because Jeremy and Courtney give it to me about how many times I say all the time. Courtney's like, Manny, just think before you talk. It's not that hard, Courtney. It's not that easy, Courtney.
I get it. Though,
he gets this glazed look on his eyes, and he's just.
It's just I get into that sometimes too because I have a million thoughts in my head, and sometimes I don't even finish one before I start on the other one. So I know I get you where the are from. But yeah, you were one of the leaders in the clubhouse, so I just try to clean it up. You're not number one, but you were up there. You were, you know, you had a.
That's mediocre. That's mediocre, Manny. I wouldn't expect anything less.
It's called ADHD.
That's why we love you, brother. That's why we love you.
Yeah. You know, one thing that we've been talking about is we've made the rounds. Courtney and I, like through Reckless, we've done a lot of pods lately. And I've traveled for work, and I've got to spend some quality time, whether it's in Tampa with Bro Namath or up in Chicago at Mark's Card Shop or, you know, just wherever I'm out. I've created these relationships of like-minded people like us where you can go grab coffee, grab dinner, grab a beer, and chop it up. And one thing that we were talking about as we were waxing poetic the other night was I don't remember having anything good to say about the city of Atlantic City. However, when you think about it, I have some incredible memories.
Yeah.
And I think about that night where we hung out for a few hours, had some drinks. And just like you said, Oz, it was like we had known each other forever. And as a result of one night of, you know, you guys talking about the Roberto Clemente and some of like the Jordans and like some of the way you guys were moving, as a result of Cardboard, we were brought together. And I was like, man, now next time I swing through Philly, I know I got some people I can link up with. And that I've just been very nostalgic in the sense, or been very mindful of what Cardboard's done, you know, because we get to share this. And like, look, man, we're doing this. Somebody's going to listen. They're going to have a good laugh. They're going to learn about us. They're going to, you know, say, hey, man, I don't know why the Wolfpack associates with these guys. That's bad for business.
Yeah, we've already gotten that like several times, so don't worry about that.
Like we're like we're like kind of the loose cannons of the Wolfpack, so you never know what you're gonna get. We, you know, so just try to keep it copacetic.
Are you sure you want to associate with those guys?
So we have a blast with those guys. Those guys are all cool, super well. We'll get into that later, but yeah, man, we can kick it with you guys anytime. Like that's the core of our show is the cards. What relationships spawn from that? Because I mean, Oz and we don't have multi-million-dollar collections. Like it's a lot of mid-end stuff for the most part, but the stories that associate with them is the core of our show. And here we are with you, fine gentlemen, and Manny.
We don't say multi-million-dollar. You guys don't have them all. Look at behind Oz. You're telling me this man doesn't have millions of dollars behind him.
I got that at Walmart, bro. Come on, stop.
No, Oz collects everything. This guy was posting Stranger Things. He has the whole set. I seen him with the comic book of 11. I know how rare that is now. You just don't belittle Oz in this show. That dude is a multi-millionaire. Look at that collection.
Which, by the way,
the point is, Manny, it's like it's not about the money or the value.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so like, especially with the Stranger Things, that resonates with me because obviously Courtney loves it. And listening to my wife talk about standing in line at National for hours trying to get these promo packs with Oz and your daughter, right?
Yeah. Well, my daughter came the last day, but it was primarily, you know, Courtney and I. And dude, when I think of the National, you know, the first thing we got there, we were lost for 25 minutes trying to find the National stage because we somehow, some way managed to get onto the stage at the National, first one we've ever been to, and we're able to talk, you know, with cousin John Newman and cousin Danny Black from Sports Ball, which was amazing. And this was like literally when we got there, we hadn't seen anything, gone to any tables, just like get on stage, talk. And then after that, it was like, all right, let's see what this is all about. And then we saw that vending machine, the Stranger Things, and I was like, whoa, what is this? And I love Stranger Things. And my daughter's a diehard Stranger Things fan. She's 11 years old. So, you know, I'm looking at that, and then I'm like, well, what's this about, Tone? I said, I don't know. Let's figure it out. Then you realize, okay, you can get packs out of this thing, and you have a chance to get a redemption card and win a box from Zero Cool, but you got to be in line in the morning, and you got to be in line at like 2:30 in the afternoon. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Next thing you know, these lines are getting nuts out, you know, crazy. And Courtney, your wife, is like camping out for hours and hours at time, you know, and and you see Jeremy here bringing her food, bringing her water, you know what I mean? And she's like, hey, hon, hey, you know, you'd see him come over after he did a couple deals. Hey, I got a couple cards. I got another, what was your boy's name?
Patrick Williams.
Patrick Williams, another P. Will. I got another P. Will.
She's like, shut up and go get me. Shut up, go get me a drink and a snack and go get the hell out of here.
Yeah. I'll be here.
She said, make me a sandwich, slap me on my ass, and sent me on my way. I said, yeah, Daddy.
That was it, man. Just remembering those damn lines, waiting in line with Courtney, but she made it fun. She made it special. And then, like you said, we went and hung out. We went out to the bar the one night, and we were just chilling, man. That to me, it's just vivid in my mind. Everything that we got, you know, we all did together, and that was the National for me. And again, that's just created by this cardboard and the relationships you have, you know, through that. And it would have never happened had it not been for cardboard.
The moral of the story is Atlantic City isn't too bad if you stay inside.
Yeah.
So,
or depending on the hotel you stay at.
Well, somehow or another, Jeremy ends up at the Roach Motel and the Ritz-Carlton all within a day or two. So I'm not sure what the hell was going on there. But.
Last night we found out Courtney went out to Culture Collision, and she decided for one night she was responsible for booking her own room. And once again, she went through Priceline. It didn't go the way of like Marriott or Hilton where we have status, and thought she knew something. So she fucked around and she found out. And she found out. So she learned. So Courtney is not allowed to do anything with hotels. God bless that woman. She does everything, but do not let her touch your hotel.
She runs everything else. Just don't let her book a hotel.
Would you guys book a hotel if it was $69.99 for a night?
Probably not, because you know,
red flag, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, that's like the equivalent of doing a deal on IG with somebody who has like one post, doesn't follow any like card people, stuff like that. And you're like, yeah, you know what? The hell with it, friends and family. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, exactly. That's why
one post is a vouch post.
Yeah. One post is a vouch post. Courtney, we love you. You know,
and that's why Jeremy and Courtney have 4 kids. They live on the edge.
Yeah. That's okay.
No,
I'll tell you one thing. I called them the power couple, you know, in the hobby when we had them on.
Yep.
And I honestly meant that. Like, you guys are doing your thing. Like, Courtney is an animal when it comes to the hobby. I see she's coming out with something new there. What it was, like a sports detective type thing? Like, what's that all about?
It's like murder mystery involved with athletes and sports cards.
Yeah, that's
and so dope. the ladies love like all that like murder stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I personally don't understand the obsession. Anytime I ride with her and she's responsible for the radio or the podcast, if it's not cards, it's like some guy being butchered and the body doing. I'm like, I miss me with that. I can't. She's like, it's fascinating. I'm like, all right.
You sleep with one eye open, brother.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So her and Mrs. Squirts, they got their first episode dropping February 15th. So
yeah, I told her
she's gung ho. So
I can't wait. That looks dope.
Yeah, no, she's putting a lot of effort into it, so I'm excited for her.
Yeah,
I do have a question because you guys brought it up, the Wolf Pack. Explain to us a little bit about the Wolf Pack and how it came to be.
Yeah. So the Wolfpack is Rob, sports card therapist, and the original guys are Rob, the sports card therapist, Craig from at New York. These are all their Instagram handles, because heaven forbid we know people by their real name. For the most part, it's always by the Instagram handle. I was like, oh, you actually have a real name? That's cool. So Rob, the sports card therapist, Craig at New York City Sports Cards, their guy Ken
Ken
at
Cairns, sports card lessons.
at Sports Card Lesson, and I believe Dave Sylvester may or may not. But anyway, so it was they're just a group of guys, like, you know, like we're sitting here and they just talk hobby, and they just branded themselves as the Wolfpack. They never did any content or anything like that, but it was just a sounding board where, like, hey, I have a deal going on. What do you guys think about this, that, and all that other stuff? For some reason, they thought enough of us to say, hey, you want to join? I was like, all right, cool. What's the secret handshake? I do have a scar. We had to cut our hands, just like the movie, real cheap knockoff of the movie. We did all that. There was a satchel. There was a little bit of ecstasy, all that crazy stuff. So we did all that. They accept us into this Wolfpack, and you know, we're just kicking it, talking about cards. And somewhere somebody was like, yeah, let's hit record, because a lot of this stuff that you talk about in these DMs, somebody could learn from, whether it be whatever, man, deals gone wrong. I remember Shane, the sports card, nobody was part of it. He was looking to buy a card. He's like, oh, what do you guys think? It was a raw card, and everybody puts in their input, and then he can maybe make a more informed decision. But that's basically what it is. And now it's morphed into where we're doing content. We did the first episode. It was on podcast form, and you guys can follow. It's the _Wolfpack_ content. And it was myself, Rob, Craig, and Shane. We did an episode, and it was, you know, pretty much like this. We're talking hobby, and the next one's coming out. It'll be featuring Oz and the other guys. That'll be dropping a week after probably this comes out, whenever you guys release this. So yeah, basically it's that, and we'll see where it goes. It was like I always talked about some kind of network or something. I even talked to you guys, so who knows where this thing can balloon from and go. So maybe one day we'll all be under one crazy umbrella, and, you know, see where it goes. But basically that's the gist of it. And I'll kick it to Oz. He can tell you a little bit more, but that's the nuts and bolts.
Yeah, that's it. It's just a bunch of guys getting together and talking sports and talking hobby. And like you said, we just decided to you know, just start building content and say, what can we do to give back to the hobby? We have a lot of guys here with, you know, all we do is create content. So let's put our minds together and let's create something special. And, you know, not about us, not about trying to promote the Wolfpack or promote, you know, Rob or cousin Tony, cousin Oz, or, you know, Shane. It's let's think of things that we can do that can help the collectors that are coming in, that have questions. And, you know, like you said, it's like you guys being a part of our DMs, you know what I mean? So we're just giving it to you guys as far as what we're doing. So I think it's a pretty cool thing, man. And those guys are great men. And like I said, they took us in, and they, you know, came in with open arms, and we're like, yo, come on in. And here we are. So
I think with that consortium of individuals, there's just so much to learn while being entertained. So I know I love the educational piece. I love like the analytics. I love the way people look at their money or look at their cards and how it operates. And it's not the motivation isn't like profit. It's just that's what I think is cool, and that's what fascinates me. Whereas Manny wants everything to be dick and boob jokes and farts and stuff like that. So when you can combine those, where you can educate mediocre Manny while having a good laugh, I think it's awesome. And the people that you're working with, I think Rob does a really good job through his podcast from inception to now, talking about how he got to where he's at with some of the bigger cards he has. And I still remember the day where he said participation is required. Yeah. And that truly resonated with me. And I remember we had some cards and we were kind of like stuck, and we just went to a show and we were active, and all of a sudden we got things moving, and it kind of like unstuck things. And I was just always grateful that somebody was transparent about, you know, what was really going on, because a lot of what we see on social media is just like huge win. And that's not always the case, man. Yeah. You know, you lose quite a bit too, but if you learn from it, you ultimately get that W.
I mean, that's one thing with Rob. He's always been transparent. It was just like a behind the scenes, everything that you wanted to know about a deal. He'd tell you, okay, I went there, I had this card that was worth $1,500, and I had $2,000 cash, and this guy wanted $4,000, so we worked out a deal, and you know what I mean. So you're like, okay, because like you said, oh yeah, man, went to the show and look what I picked up, and they're showing all their cars, but you don't know how they did. So it's like, okay, that's cool. I would like to do that, but how the hell am I going to do that if I'm not you? So then Rob was like, listen, I'm just going to be transparent. I'm going to tell you exactly what it was worth, how much, it costs or vice versa. And then what it took to get those cards. And, it's kind of like opened up the behind the scenes, which I think, helped him and helped him grow. And he's just a great dude, man. Rob, like I said, he's been there. We've known Rob for what, Tony, about almost a year and a half.
Yeah.
We were dealing with him before, the show and anything. Like Tony would, had a deal with him way back when for a Tom Brady rookie card. And we were in the works of him trying to get like a whole 86 Fleer set with one of my guys. So this was like, something that was in the works, which we didn't know at the time. But, we've known Rob for quite a while, and he's a stand-up dude.
Rob knows you're an Eagles fan, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Rob's an Eagles fan now, too.
Oh, he's an Eagles fan?
Well, we had a bet. We had a bet because he's a huge Giants fan. Yep. So the bet was, I said, listen, bro, we're going head to head in the second round of the playoffs. You guys, by some miraculous, you took care of the Minnesota Vikings. Cool. We're going to, go ahead to head. So now if you lose, you're going to have to go ahead and you're going to have to rock a jersey. I'm going to need you to sing the fight song. I want your whole background. I want a flag. I want the whole nine, and I want the face paint too. And I said, and vice versa. If we lose, I'll do the same thing. I said, I know we're not going to lose, but if that was the case, my next door neighbor's a diehard New York Giants fan. I can get all that stuff, no problem. And it took like, I don't know, 2-3 weeks before he even like acknowledged, before he was like, he kept, and then finally I got him on a pod and he was like, okay, I'll do it. And then they lost. And then of course he kept not doing it. And then finally I was like, yo, Rob, man, I said, it's like 2 days before the Niners game. I said, bro, you got to be a man of your word. And then within 10 minutes, he texts me. He's like, Oscar. I was like, oh, shit. I'm like, what's up? He's like, 8:30 tonight. We're going live. Be there. I was like, oh, okay. No problem. So we went live. This was what, Friday night, Tony?
Yeah.
Yeah, last Friday. And so what he does, he puts, he has the green screen and it's just Eagles in the background. And I was like, bro, where's the face paint? Where's the flag? Where's the jersey? I said, are you going to sing the song? He's like, nah, this is all you getting, bro.
Yo, Oz, did your neighbor poop in your yard at all?
I haven't seen him, bro. He's been MIA.
Okay, I was just wondering.
Because the funny thing is he's a diehard Giants and his wife is a diehard Eagles. So, we hang out, but him,
I can only imagine Oz at the property line going, go Birds, go Birds the whole night.
Oh, they hear us.
That's awesome.
I mean, I would imagine, kind of based on what I know about you guys, where we grew up, Rob not fulfilling his part of the bet. I mean, that at this point, he deserves a beatdown, right?
But he did. To his credit, he did. It was just a matter of,
like, yep, I'm coming.
Yeah, but it was a matter of just lining it up so that it would be on the air and all that stuff. So I mean, I give him props for
I let him slide. I let him slide.
Yeah. And actually, I saw he did his he does a thing for PWCC where he kind of does watches the auctions and stuff like that. And for some reason, he can't get the green screen off. So it's all the Eagles green screen is still there. So now he's actually paid it and then some. So I don't know.
So you hear on his latest pod, he's like the guest is like, bro, what's up with the Eagles background? He's like, bro, I can't get it off now. I've been having this damn thing. I had no idea how to get it off, and I was rolling. I was like, yes.
That would be Jeremy.
That's karma, man. Yeah. That is absolute karma. You tried welching on the bet. This is what happens.
I do want to ask, because you did talk about the Roberto Clemente as well. Mm-hmm. I do want to hear this because you guys give the story, like you were saying, about the background on how you got that card. I want to hear, because I actually heard it on your guys' podcast, how you actually got the rookie card at National. Can you guys bring it to light and tell our listeners how you guys got it?
Sure. Yeah. So I collect Roberto Clemente. Oz does the Iverson. Those are our main PCs. And I went to the National with the full intention. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I'm going to get that card here. I don't know where, but I'm going to get it. And I mean, dude, there's tons of that card. That card's not rare, but what is rare, it's tough to find in a lower grade, a grade that I could afford. Centered, coloring vintage, that set, that 56 tops, it's all over the place, man. There's some cards that are completely to the left, like it's all over the place. So I go through all the booths. I'm looking. I didn't see anything because I was very super picky with this card. I was like, I wanted to pay a certain price for a certain grade, 4 or 5, between 3 and a 5, maybe a 6, if I get lucky. But I can tell you, dude, I would look. I'm like, nope. He's like, dude, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, man, this ain't it. Like, I'm telling you, when I see it, I'll let you know. Like, it's just one of those things. When you see it, you see it. And there were some that like, nope, but didn't do it. So we go to the Card Collector 2 trade night, which we missed you guys. We were somewhere. We went super late to that thing. We had another thing going on, and we got in by the time people were like, at that point they had lost control of the door, so people were just coming and going. We walk right in, and Lay's like, hey. I just act like I didn't hear it, just keep walking in. So, and at this point, there's cards all over the floor and that thing, which I'll never forget. Hey, listen, bro, I used to be like the master of getting into spots where I wasn't supposed to be. I would just like that. I would just do that to make my other cousins laugh. So walking in when the lady's yelling at me and I'm like, yeah, whatever. That took me back to my younger days, but that's another story. Anyway,
I just wanted to point out, my man started, goes, I don't curse. And then a few minutes later, it's like, I'm the master of getting to places where I'm not supposed to be.
Like I said, don't let this guy fool you.
Don't let this guy fool you. Anyways, so we go up in there, and dude, I'll never still understand why guys are like, $1,000 cards, 5,000, just thrown all around the floor. Like that's, I'm like, damn, man, these guys are crazy, man. Because one false step and it's just cracked. Anyways, we go through this thing, and I'm walking through, and there is a kid, a younger guy in his 20s with cards all over. Ty Cobb on the floor, Roberto Clemente on the floor, bangers. And I see this thing, and I'm like, oh, damn, there it is. So I start talking to this guy, and now, mind you, he's got about, I don't know, Oz, what, a couple, like about 4 or 5 of the tall boy Yinglings behind his case.
The big joint.
So he's a little sauced. And I'm like, oh, this would be cool, because I was like, this kid is off his, out of his mind. I should be able to get a deal on it. Nah, man. The more he drank, the tougher the deal got. So, so this is, I believe, what it was, Thursday night or whatever it is.
Yeah.
We're bouncing back. We weren't able to get a deal done. I'm like, nah, it's just the number wasn't right. So I leave. We go home. Go up to, back to the hotel, and I lay down, and I was just thinking about, I'm like, oh, man, I should just. We were close, but I was like, not close enough.
Here's the deal, man. That's the card that he wanted. He's been looking for months for this Roberto Clemente card and had never seen one that he actually would purchase. He's seen it. And this 21-year-old kid who just probably turned 21 with 6 tall boys, that was pounding Yinglings, had it, and he wasn't budging. And what do you do? And Tony's like, damn, because Tony could have got it. He just didn't want to overpay for it.
Right. Yep.
So it's like, he left. And I'm like, bro, you serious? That's the card. You're never going to see that shit again. That's the one. He's like, yeah, I'm not going to overpay for it. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ.
I was super proud of myself. I walked out of there and patted myself on the back. I didn't let my emotions get the best of me. Now, don't get me wrong. I freaking stayed up all night thinking about it. And this guy's like, don't be here. It's like, don't here's your curse word. He's like, stop being a little bitch and just buy it. I was like, it's not your freaking money, you idiot. So fast forward, we get to the next day, and you know how they had those pop-up trade nights. They're just in the hotels, whatever. So we go back to our hotel. We walk in, and there's freaking 500 people in the lobby.
Yeah, here's the great curator sitting down with all the Star Wars cards. Like everybody's in our hobby in the lobby. I'm like, oh snap!
Yeah, the thing was just as big, if not bigger, than the night before. Yeah. We walk in, and there's my man again. This time with 8 tall boys. So I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Bro, the funny thing is, he had he had his case. Yeah. So he had his cards out. He's sitting there like this, and behind the case, dog, it's empty can after empty can after empty can. This dude was lit. And I'm talking, he's a little kid, 21 years old. And he's there sitting like he's like the freaking man of the hobby, just like, what? I know what I got.
Yeah. I mean, the kid has.
Tony's like, he's like, oh, you're back, Tom? I got the card. What's up? You got the money?
Yeah. So I was able to so I had other Clementes with me. I'm building the run. And I had other Clementes with me. And there's another guy there. So he just wanted straight cash. All right. So I was like, dude, I was trying to get a cash and trade. He's like, nah, I want straight cash. So he's like, you know what? Why don't you sell your Clementes to this guy? Take that cash, and then maybe we could do something. I was like, okay. So I did that. I ended up selling like 4 or 5 of them, got more cash back. Then I was able to get it cheaper than the night before. And I lost some cards, but I was able to, regain some cash. And listen, man, when you get, people throw around that term grail card and stuff like that, but when you get a card that you've been hunting, and I mean, Jeremy with the P Wills, he could probably tell you it feels the same. When you get that thing in hand, where I was like, damn, because that, again, that card is tough to find, centered, coloring, and all that stuff. And for the grade that I got, I love the card. And the only way I'll probably get rid of it is just to upgrade. Or unless maybe I see one, it's a 5. If I see a 4, that's pretty damn close or something like that. But it was one of those deals where I looked at that card, a million of them, and to finally get one in hand, I was like, damn, this is it. And like, that's kind of those moments where you're like, this is more than just cardboard. Because I was like, I felt proud for not getting caught up. I felt I didn't make a mistake, because you've bought cards, you're like, damn, what the hell did I just do? That was stupid. And I've done that. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect in the hobby, but I was not gonna let that happen with that card.
Yeah. And I always laugh because it was 220 something. So the dude that he actually sold a couple of his Roberto Clemente cards, didn't he write a book on spotting fakes? So you got
Ryan Nolan is his name.
Ryan Nolan, who just turned like 21 years old.
He's in his mid-20s. Yeah,
mid-20s. He wrote a goddamn book about spotting fakes in the hobby on vintage cards. And like, I'm like, hold on, wait, you know what I mean? So here we are. I'm 47, Tony's 43, and these 20-year-olds are kicking Tony's ass when it comes to this trade. And I'm just sitting back recording the whole thing. Like, look at this shit, man. We're getting played by 2 20-year-olds. One dude wrote a book. It's like insane, how this hobby, you can have an 8-year-old or you can have an 80-year-old. It doesn't matter. And it's just like, dude, we're all here trying to get the same thing. And it's these cards. And that's what, makes the hobby so special, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Tony, that's got to be one of the most unique feelings, because I felt that same exact way, because I'm quick to overpay if I like something. I just don't care. But when you try
I've done that too.
When you try to practice fiscal responsibility, you walk out and you're like, in one mode, you're like, oh my God, I walked away. I did it. But then your night's ruined, because I'm sure you're laying in bed. You got the blankie over you thinking, motherfucker, did I let that one slip away?
Yeah.
Well, he was talking about that when we were drinking. I think that was the night.
Yes, yes, sir.
I remember listening to the conversation, and you're like, you went to Oz and you're like, I should have bought that damn card.
Yeah. Like that was the night right after we left you guys is when we went back to the hotel, and it was
That's
like,
when I bought it.
Ta-da! Here's a trade night, Tony. Let's go.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. I wasn't gonna let it pass by, get by me a second time, but yeah, man, it's like. And I've done that, Jeremy. I've bought cards. I'm like, fuck it. I don't give a shit. I'm going to buy this card. I said, and I'm going to buy this card, and I'm going to, if I have to overpay, so what? But I'm going to get it. But
what's today's date?
Yeah, write that down.
January 31st, Tony's first fuck. Gotcha.
Yeah, there you go. No, but I'm like, I'm going to get this. And yeah, I didn't let, like saying, I didn't let my emotions get the best of me. I waited it out. I saved a couple bucks, and I got the card now. And it's like, dude, I have a picture. I had that put in the slab mag, and I laid it next to my pillow. I slept with the card for a little bit, and
he did.
yeah. So, but yeah, man, that's like one of those deals where, like you said, practice what you preach about. Don't try to. But I've done that. I'm like, man, oh crap, that was stupid. But I held firm with that one, and just because like that card, it's not super rare, and I know that a lot of them, you can find it. It's just a matter of finding the one that you like, and so yeah, that's how I got it, bro.
That's such a cool story, because it's also like, it's not just at an average show. Like, you're at the National, right. You guys are on stage. It's like an incredible time. Like, the podcast is kicking off. You're meeting people, and that's like the cherry on top is to get the Grail card. You know what I mean? And so the card in itself is a badass card. And I wish there was like more talk of Clemente collectors, because I don't think people realize how much of a badass he was. Yeah. But the story's pretty damn fucking cool too. And to know that the kid who was drinking 6 Yinglings didn't work a deal, so you came and drank 19 Yinglings with us, and then went back and got the deal done.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong.
Shout out Yingling.
Yeah, because like like the fact that we had a couple adult beverages might have played into me being a little more willing to make the deal. So
more
he's at,
aggressive.
we're both a little, we're a little both, a little off our game, but we were able to get it done. And
that's awesome. You guys had a good national. You had your Roberto Clemente. You had Oz crying when he met Allen Iverson.
Yeah. Actual tears.
Yeah, tears. Yeah. You're my hero.
Yeah. It went just like that, bro. Like dead ass.
And then you got the Stranger Thing cards. You guys had, and then
bro.
Yeah.
And the capper. Here's the capper, because and I know you know how it was, because Courtney was in these lines, and the main thing while we waited in these lines was every pack that from this vending machine from the Stranger Things, it was 2 cards, and there was 11 redemption cards. So they were giving them out, and nobody was hitting them. And if you get this redemption card, you get to scratch off. You can send it to Zero Cool, and it comes out with the new box that they just did with Netflix and Stranger Things. That's coming out, hopefully within the next 6 months, for season 4. So when my daughter, that last day she came, and she picked the damn card, you know what I mean? So it was almost like a real vending machine. You would pick, like A4. And, she was talking with Courtney, and Courtney was like, man, I had picked, I think B12 yesterday, and I think I'm going to go with a different one. And my daughter's like pulling on my shirt, and I'm like, what's up? She's like, Dad. I'm like, what? She's like, I think I know what number I want to pick. I'm like, oh yeah. She's like, yeah, I think I want to go with like B4. I was like, cool. I said, tell you what, you go with B4 and I'll go with B5. How's that sound? She's like, yeah. So I went first, got B5, and I got like Dustin and Robin. I was like, oh, pretty cool. And she gets it. She was like, well, Dad, you open it, because she's never opened up a pack. She's always afraid, because she knows how I am with cards. And she's like, no, you open it. And my wife is like, let her open it. My wife's there. I'm like, she doesn't want to open it. So I open it up, and I tear it up, and I look, and I'm like, holy shit, it's the redemption card. Ooh. And I look at her. I look at my wife, and I see Courtney up at the top. The first person I went to was Courtney. It was just because we were like, oh my gosh, she's seen it. She jumped up. I jumped up. I gave her a hug. No disrespect. But it was just like, we were so excited, and it was like, oh my God. And man, that was the best thing. And my daughter, she was on cloud 9, just knowing that she got the pack with the redemption card, and she'll never forget that. And, we since then sent all those to PSA and gotten them graded. And, that's her set. I bought it, and I try to claim it's mine, but no, it's hers. And so it was a beautiful time, man. That whole experience at the National. And we're trying to see how we set the bar high. Like you said, we got onto the stage, talked. Now this one coming up in Chicago, we're trying to do something special. Maybe we'll talk about a little networking with my peeps from Chicago, see what we can do, because we're trying to go out with a bang, man. We're trying to, put the cousin's name out there and be like, yo, these guys are legit. These guys are for real. So we're trying to do something special out there.
Yeah. I think the only thing that'll top it is that ice cream place that these guys told us about, or whatever it is. And,
oh yeah. Ice cream place.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What you order for a chocolate shake? Is it a chocolate shake?
That's a Courtney story. I'm not getting involved in any of that. We'll show you a good time. That's home for us, and we're planning on being out there for before the day before the show starts till a day after, so we can like truly enjoy the entire thing. Having to travel, or knowing that like on the final day you're traveling, I just want to soak it all in. There's so many more relationships where I want to do more than just a high five as we're walking through a crowded aisle. I want to go spend some time and do whatever, whether it's leave and go see a game, or go to the casino, go to the bar, whatever. As the story about your daughter, just like hits home, man, because I'm very close with my oldest daughter, and she works for my company, she interns, and for you to spend that moment and hearing Courtney tell the story, like how you guys are just so elated, and there was an embrace, and the thing that everybody was chasing, your daughter called her shot and got it. It's such a cool damn story, man. And look at the smile on your face, man.
Bro,
you can't beat that. You can't beat that.
I got goosebumps like thinking about it again, dude. It just, there's nothing better than having that bond with your kid, man. And I know you know how it goes. And it's just like every day now because of that, she's into the hobby. She's into cars, you know, especially Stranger Things, or, you know, I'm getting into the, you know, Funko Pops or certain, you know, toys from that set. And we're just building a collection for her. And it's just awesome, you know? So yeah, bro, love it. Love every minute of it.
Yes,
What are you collecting now, Tony? Now that you got your Roberto Clemente, what's the next thing? You got your Grail.
Right. Yeah. So right now I have to, so I lost like 4 or 5 cards. Like I lost my favorite card of Clemente is actually not his rookie card. It's the second year, 1956. I love that card. I think it's super dope. I wish that would have been the rookie card. So I have to get both versions of that. I had the gray back and the white back. I have to get that, and then so I want to. That's my goal for this upcoming year, is to finish that run. So be it either at the National or one of the upcoming Philly shows, I want to finish that. And actually, and the rest of the stuff I'm collecting is Eagles. And I always tell Oz, I'm like, I know football is not. I collect for me. I don't collect to sell. I when I first got back into the hobby, I started buying stuff thinking what other people would like. I got stuck with stuff. So I'm like, this is stupid. I'm not, you know, doing this again. So now I collect for me, and by that, the Eagles are my favorite. Football's my favorite sport. The Eagles are my favorite team. So you know, with that, I collect Randall Cunningham. I collect Donovan McNabb, and some other Eagles stuff that I see that, you know, that I think is dope. I picked that up. So right now, goal number 1 is to finish that Clemente run. In addition to, I did start collecting what I call a Clemente Shiny, the 2021 Chrome. I have the superfractor of that. So I kind of want to get I have out of 101, the out of 5, and I want to finish that. I think I need like 2 more out of 25 and something like that. So basically that's going to be, I'm super focused on getting that done. I'm trying not to be like you, Manny, where you talk about like when I hear you talking about where you were like, oh, I got this and then I got that. And that was me too. So like when I can relate to exactly what you're saying. And it's cool that you have Jeremy to lean on, because it's like, yo, he's been in the game a little bit. Like I leaned on Oz, but he was like, dude, I've only gotten back in. Like he was learning too. So I was learning off of him. But with having Jeremy, it's cool that he can kind of grab you by the hair and lead you along. You just got to stop being a wuss and sell the card when he tells you to sell the card.
Yeah.
Like, don't be like me, man. Just get it done. You know what I mean? Because whatever.
I sold that card. Last week.
Good.
I sold it last weekend. I got a fresh new air. I got a new submission back. They're all SGC 10s. I'm on a high right now.
Nice. Good for you.
On a roll, baby.
Thanks to Jeremy.
Mediocre Manny's on a roll.
Yeah. I might upgrade here shortly.
You're on your way to a 9-7. Well, I guess it would be 9 and 8 seasons.
Magnificent Manny.
You guys are going to see slightly above average Manny here in the coming years. It's a work in progress.
I got a nice DeMarco Murray for you that I could give you.
Ooh.
Yep. So if you want it.
so Tony, you said something that I think is pretty interesting. So anything that you buy from a card perspective is you keep. You're not buying to sell, to move up. So that's probably a little bit more of a slower process, I would imagine, because you have to be mindful of when you have cash and how you use it. So do you ever get like maybe a little bit of FOMO, or do you ever see a card and be like, man, I think I could probably buy that and flip it? Like, how do you navigate that? Because if I had to just bank on my personal income to do that, I would probably be stuck a long time ago.
Yeah. It's a minefield for me. I've started recently talking about, I have to figure out how to have the hobby pay for the hobby. And that's probably going to mean that I'm going to have to maybe part with some cards that I like and maybe get better cards that of the same guys that I like. I just like, dude, it's the whole prospecting thing is tough. If I would ever dabble, it would be on established players. Like I'm not, because dude, the prices. And again, I'm always focused on football. Football is like, so I'm looking like the quarterbacks are way overpriced. I'm like, I can't even play. I can't even get in the game, because it's like, dude, like the cards that are worth anything are super high end. And although, I mean, Jeremy, you make some hay with you guys are talking about, with the $500 to $500 cards. There's a lot of stuff in there. It's just, I'm scared to get stuck with stuff. Like I don't want to have piles of stuff here, and then I gotta hear, Mrs. Cousin Tony all up in my ear, like, what is all this crap you got laying around? So that's always in the back of my mind too. So I'm like, I don't know. So right now I'm just filling the piggy bank up and emptying it out and just collecting for me for now. And I don't know, maybe the day will come where I'll just sell some of my stuff and buy more stuff that I like. But yeah, that's kind of how I navigate it. And then, yes, it is a super slow thing at first, but it helps control my spending too, to be honest. Like it's because if I'm constantly moving and being in cards, man, there's a lot going on, man. You guys are comping stuff, selling stuff, packing stuff. So that shit gets draining, man. Like, so
and it's stressful. It can be very stressful. And, you know, most of us, we're not rich. We have our own job to do with. I'm a mailman, a real mailman. If you haven't known Mrs. Courtney's husband up here kind of threw me under the bus, but we're not going to get into that, or maybe we will, because I still need an apology. But other than that, it can, yeah, it can be a very stressful situation that you really don't need, trying to figure out exactly what to get that's gonna, you're gonna get it at a good price and be able to flip it and actually make a profit on it. And it's so tough and difficult. It's best to probably get this stuff, go to shows, which means you got to take time away from your family. Most of the time you got to go to shows. You got to put a lot of time and effort into getting the best deal possible, because if you buy it online, more than likely, if you get it for $350, $400, that's a comp now. The last card sold for $350, $400. We're like, yeah, that was me. He's like, well, I'll give you 70% of that. So then you're screwed, if you do it that way. So you gotta know all the games. And we just came to the point where it was like, listen, man, it's when we first started, we weren't thinking, okay, flip game. We're thinking, dude, we're gonna get these cards that we like. We're gonna get Dr. J rookie. We're going to try to get a Michael Jordan rookie. We're going to get a Charles Barkley rookie. Like all the people that we knew growing up in the NBA and in NFL, the top dogs, the GOATs, we're going to get their rookie cards, and we're going to put them in a safe or take them to the, bank deposit box and just let it there. And 15, 20 years from now, we're going to be rich. We weren't thinking flip game at all. And then all of a sudden you just see the hobby go and everything's just soaring. And it didn't matter. You could buy that bowl today for $500 and sell it for $800 tomorrow. And it was like, oh shit. So Tony was like, ooh, this looks, this is me. I like this. Mm-hmm. So then Tony starts getting that whole rigmarole and doing this, that, and the third, and buying everybody, buying wrestlers and dabbing, listening to certain podcasts, and they're giving all the good tips. And he's like, yo, I just bought these things. I was like, what are you doing? Oh, no, don't worry about this. Watch. And it was working. He bought a rock. What was that? A rock gold?
Yeah, I bought a rock gold. I submitted it. I was the first one to get the PSA 10 back. Sold that. So I was working, but then again, that's not going to work forever. And now if I was in the flip game, I would have, sold bulk and stuff like that. But once it started tailing off, I'm like, this isn't really for me, because I wasn't buying anything that I liked. And it was just, my collection wasn't a reflection of me at all. And I'll never forget, a good friend of ours would call him the commish. He's like, hey, I didn't want to say anything because, it's like, yo, the stuff you collect, that's not even you, man. And once I started collecting my Eagles, he's like, now you collected what you like. I'm like, yeah, I am. And this is.
And I always told, like, the commission always goes back to where I said is like, listen, if I go over to your house, Jeremy or Manny, and you show me your collection, that should be a reflection of you. It shouldn't be like, yo, check this out. I got the latest, Joe Burrow RPA. Look at that. Oh, look at this Danny Dimes, National Treasures out of 99. You like that, right? Yeah. And I'm like, bro, that's whack. That's not, what I mean? You're just collecting what everybody's talking about, what's hottest in the hobby, not what makes, Manny tick or what makes, Mrs. Courtney up here tick. Just those things that, you collect the P Will. You know what I mean? So I know if I go, yo, check out my P Wills, I'm like, who the hell's P Will? Oh, it's Patrick Williams. He's scrub guard from Chicago Bull. Oh, yeah, that guy. But, he's come a long way and he's doing his thing. But I know for a fact, you know what I mean? You're collecting what you love. That's, not the normal. If somebody says, oh, I collect Chicago Bulls. Oh, Jordan? No. Oh, well, who? I don't know. DeMar DeRozan. No.
Dickie Simpkins.
It's like T Will, and I'm like, wow. But and you've gone deep into it, and I can appreciate that because I'm collecting shit that probably nobody here would even care about, but it means the world to me. I collect toys, I collect Stranger Things, I collect Allen Iverson. So it's like that's what makes the hobby so special. You know what I mean? And whatever it is that you feel is your road, your path, just do it to the best of your capabilities. Like you're going all out, you're getting those rare P Wills. Like no matter what, you got the best P Will collection out there. And it's worth something because you got the rarest cards, you know, you got the 101s, you got the out of 10, the golds and stuff like that. So even if they're like, well, you know, that guy, you know, he may or may not be a superstar. Yeah, but those cards are still valuable and they're still, you know, they mean something to you and they have value. And that's the whole thing. Like, find a lane and do it to the best of your ability. And Tony has like, you know, 3 or 4, you know, we call them side PCs. You know, you got your main one, your Roberto Clemente, but then you're rocking with Randall Cunningham, Donovan McNabb, you know, and even like punch out cards and things like that just make you happy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you always got to go back to like what makes you happy.
I love that you guys say that too, because the last 2 years, my brain is the flip game. I can make some money out of this. So it was never an option of me like getting my PC because I'm like, who's going to want to buy my PC at this point? Why am I buying right now? And that's kind of how I think, or like how I was thinking until I met Jeremy. And I don't know if you guys noticed today, I posted my Nomar Garcia Parra. It was a gold out of 10, flawless with the diamond. So me and my wife, and this is kind of where I, like what you said, it kind of makes your heart beat, right? My wife, me and her, we actually had a Yankees Red Sox wedding. She's a big Yankee fan because of Derek Jeter. I'm a big Red Sox because of Nomar. So now we're trying to find cards together that are that have Derek Jeter and Nomar on them at the same time. There's some autos that are out there. So I think that's what kind of my PC is going to kind of turn into, is just getting Derek Jeter and Nomar autos for both of us because it means something to us.
But
So
you know what? That's gonna, you know, build the bond between you guys. I mean, you guys are already married, and you know, you obviously have a bond. But those are little things, you know, like these guys up here, Courtney and Mrs. Courtney. I mean, they're like they work together.
Mrs. Courtney,
like the power couple of the hobby. They have a dynamic that I haven't seen anywhere in the hobby, other than let's just say, you know, Christina's PC and Chris Hoge. You know what I mean? Like you're I would say you're even better than that. You guys are at the top of the list when it comes to couples in the hobby. When you know, when I think about that.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate that. I would say, you know, the thing that I find fascinating about your collection, Oz, is that on any given day, depending on whatever mail you open, it can change. And that's got to be fun and exciting, knowing that one day you rip open somebody's mail and it's a Tony Romo card, or the next day it's a Lex Luger card, or it's a comic book, or it's toys, or, you know, whatever fell off the back of the damn truck. I mean, that's pretty neat. It's always like every day is a mystery box, and that's got to be fun. And so that's a hobby experience that I haven't had yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
You know, and when you get there, you're gonna appreciate
Mrs. Courtney's. Amen. But I think that this conversation is truly fascinating, because what brings us joy in the hobby is different and unique to all of us, and the way we navigate it is awesome. And so I follow a lot of people on Twitter and Instagram where it's like, I just think that these guys must have endless bank accounts. Yeah. Every day they're posting something, but it's the same thing. I see the card, and like a Joe Burrow card does nothing for me. A Lamar Jackson or whatever's hot in that moment does absolutely nothing for me. P. Will, now that does something for me. I'm not sure who the scrub guard you're talking about, because the Patrick Williams that I collect is a 21-year-old forward for the Chicago Bulls. So I'm gonna have to check out that guy. I'll do some research off the air.
Hey,
my apologies for not being educated.
It was I gotta give you props, Jeremy, because like, you know, and Oz is good, and Manny was picking up on it. I thought Manny, I was like, this might be a little too highbrow for Manny, but you know, Oz was throwing the daggers out, and Jeremy, no emotion.
Jeremy didn't blink. Jeremy didn't blink.
Loved it, like, and then just and see, like I resonate with that a lot. Like I loved it. So you just came back and just, you know, a little jab, and then a little, you know,
bang,
hook.
Bang, Eagles gang, baby.
You know? Tip of the hat to you. So.
1-2. Yeah. Hey, thank you, Tony. I always knew that you were the smart one of the group, so I appreciate you recognizing game. Recognize game.
Yeah, I like that.
Like that. Oz, we're just the talent, right?
That's it, baby.
We're just the talent.
We're just the pretty.
Oz, really? That's who you're gonna associate Oz and mediocre Manny.
He is now magnificent,
that's
Manny.
Yeah, I love it.
He's marvelous, Manny. He's upgraded.
There you go.
No, he tells me about
I think
Patrick Williams, though, being 21, and Jordan was 21 when he was with the Bulls. So Patrick Williams has some time, is what he's telling me.
Nah, hey, bro.
I have never once compared Patrick Williams to Michael Jordan. So I want to be clear about that. But here's the thing, too. It's cool. Like, Roberto Clemente is awesome, and baseball is the greatest sport of all time. Unfortunately, these young people don't know and don't appreciate the way I'm sure we did as kids. But to anybody can go in and get the big name player. I could start collecting LeBron and be like, I have a LeBron collection. Yeah. Yay. Like, that the guy's already established. If Patrick Williams goes on to have any sort of success, you know, I'm sitting at the table and I was early. So it's almost like if you bet on sports or like when you're playing Madden, like my guy is going to blossom in fantasy. It's no different than that. And it's also cool because like we're putting legitimate coin into these things. And so that takes some fortitude, some balls to go out and do that. So exactly.
Yeah, cojones. You
at the end of the day, it makes me happy and I don't give a shit what anybody else thinks. So there's that too. And that's probably the thing that makes the most.
Yeah, that's the key, man. Like,
and going back to but the thing, like you say, you're picking up 1-on-1s out of 5, out of 10, out of 3, whatever it is. In addition, so those things will somewhat have a value to even, you know, a set collector or somebody, because you're not going to find them. Where if you were buying the low MP wheel stuff and you're like, I try to move it, it's going to be tough to get anything back for that. So at least, you know, you're buying the stuff that you are buying. There is, in addition to being him, there's, you know, value to somebody who may be looking to complete sets or things like that. So.
And it's cool feeling like if they were going to have like hey, let's have a Stranger Things, like let's get a table of the top 10 Stranger Thing collectors in the world. Man, I'm pretty sure Courtney and Oz would be there, and that's a cool feeling, along with maybe Aaron from Slab Stocks.
Yeah.
You talk about Clemente. I'm not educated enough to say, and I'm sure there's some massive cards out there.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, you're at the table. You go to like, hey, let's Patrick Williams, I'm there. The way I was collecting before, dabbling, trying to have a bunch of this and that wasn't going to put me at any table. I was just, you know, I like cards, I like sports, and that was cool. So I will say this. I did, you know, talk about emotions last night. I got tagged and a guy had a P. Will Gold available last night. And so it was like midnight and I was trying to trade into it. And finally the guy's like, nah. So I'm like, fine, I'll just pay cash. And he's like, what will you pay? And I was like, what the hell, man? Your price, bro. And he's like, all right. So as I was showing him, like, hey, I'm legitimately a P. Will collector. So like, this is what like the price is, because I bought them all. So I showed him like just a smidge of what we had. And he's like, hey, can I trade into some of your cards? And I'm like, this motherfucker, no. Get your own guy, man. He starts throwing me like Joe Burrows and all that. I'm like, nah, bro. Just take my cash, send me the card, and like that shit scared me. Like, stay in your own lane.
That exact thing happened to me with a guy. He's what I call like my Roberto Clemente inspiration / nemesis / so I got the Superfractor and he collects the same set. And he's like, yo, you know, he's showing me cards. He's like, hey, by the way, you know, can you talk to the guy who has the Superfractor? I'm like, yeah, that's me. He goes, yeah, you know, have a heart to heart with him and this. And I'm like, no, man. I was like, no. I said, if anything, give me the out of 10. I need that one. I was like, don't. I said, I got most of them. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. But now, and then you become like, so I got hit up. Once you become the P. Will guy in the hobby, like then you start getting the DMs of people. Hey, this is up for sale. I just got one today with a Cunningham, and I'm like, oh man, I'm trying to stay disciplined. I'm like, oh, that thing is fire. It's like, hey, I just thought of you. So I like when you get those DMs when you become the whoever, like, you know, Manny, you be the Nomar guy. We see there's a Nomar here. So that's kind of cool getting those DMs from people or links or whatever, because somebody's thinking of you out there. So that I've done it to other people. I see cards, I'm like, I send them, and it's kind of cool.
I legitimately just got tagged in this like while we were recording, and it's JF Cards 28 looking for high-end Patrick Williams flawless NT gold, and I'm thinking like, get your own guy. So now I'm motivated tonight to go on eBay, take the $14 that I have left in my bank account, and make that bitch stretch. Like, give me some more.
You want to know how petty Jeremy is? We're at a card show, and I go and buy a Patrick Williams like Contenders auto. Mm-hmm. This man got mad, so pissed off. He found a Patrick Williams that was better than the Contenders, bought it, and said, "You aren't one up in me, son." And showed me his card. I was
that's like Tony goes and he gets, you know, you ever heard of the Dunkin' Go Nut set?
Yes.
Yes.
The 90s insert. So this bastard He said, yo, you got to see this card I'm getting, I just got. And I'm like, ooh, I was like, what's up? So I'm thinking it's a Clemente or, something else, or a Randall Cunningham 101. And he busts out this Allen Iverson, Duncan Go Nuts, Gem Mint 10. And I'm like, you motherfucker. He said, yo, what do you think? What do you think? I'm like, oh, that's really cool. That's sweet. That's good. Then I'm like, oh, I'm punching the air like, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yo, that
I try to
off.
I try to stay out of that lane, but like I like again, I Philly sports. So
yeah,
when that comes up, I was like, yeah, I actually that was one of the rare times I've been able to buy a card under comps. So I was proud of myself for that. And I was able to get that. I love that insert set. I want to build that set eventually. That one, the Jordan's expensive. I'm just a couple times. I mean, yeah, during the boom, that thing was, you couldn't even tell. I was like, yo, this is crazy. I mean, that was with every card, but yeah, that's and it's really clear. I have it hidden away in a dark cave. So I bought it. I can't even enjoy it because the damn thing was turning yellow. But yeah, I try to stay out of that lane, but sometimes it happens, kind of.
I just wanted to share a bond with Jeremy, my poppy.
Yeah,
and he went ahead and just one up me.
He's like, oh, okay,
10 minutes later.
See you.
Yeah, Poppy didn't like that.
Yeah.
Now you put me in a situation. How else am I going to respond? I have to assert my dominance, otherwise I lose control. So look what you made me do.
Let me ask you guys. This is where we hijack the show. What's next for the two Thicc? Where are we going here? This is going national, or what's going on?
Yeah, so I would say the first thing from like updated news is there's a show in Lansing, Michigan. It's a 100-table show, 100+ table show that we're gonna be setting up at once a month. So we'll be doing a little reckless cards, slanging some cards, but also doing live pods and interviews from dealers, buyers, people at the show to try and share a real life vibe of what's actually going on at the show. I found out maybe a year ago that what you hear on social media isn't always what's actually happening, and there's a whole other world that isn't Instagram that truly is the hobby. And so we just want to have fun with it, be transparent with it. I think there was one thing that was said earlier that is truly resonated with myself and Manny is it has to be fun, man. The moment it's no longer fun and it feels like a job, no thanks. I already worked my ass off in real life. This is supposed to be, good feelings, I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah, no, and you guys, I always say we laugh a lot on our show, and you guys are probably right there, if not ahead of us. So when you guys stop laughing, when we stop laughing, that's it. We just have a blast with our guests, and a lot of times I'm like, man, we got to cut some of these laughter out, but it's just funny. We just have a good time.
You always hear me in the background just giggling the whole damn time.
Yeah, and then we're not being like idiots. It's just we're just having like this. We're just having a good time, and so just don't stop smiling, Manny. Keep the smile.
Yeah.
We learned a long time ago when we get a lot of direct messages that people love the authenticity of it. It doesn't sound like fake. You know what I mean? And so there's going to be times where you misspeak or we say something boneheaded, and it's that's just real life, man. I poke fun at it. I don't take it serious. This is cardboard. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not telling people what to do. I'm just saying, hey, I'm a dumbass who's not afraid to make mistakes. Here's the good, bad, and ugly, and what you choose to do with it. It's on you. And if you need help, we make ourselves available to, provide, what guidance we can.
The viewers love that they listen to me and feel a lot better about themselves.
I could do that. I'm better than that guy.
Got that Michigan State education shining through.
He has a pod.
That is true. I never thought of it in that context, Manny, but the amount of people are like, I was going to fucking jump off a building today. And I'm like, you know what? It could be worse. I could be mediocre, Manny.
I know.
Pretty good.
After the national show, when I was lost and didn't know what to do, everyone was like, you know what? I agree with Manny. I'm not as bad as him, but I'm making money. I don't know what he's doing. No, it is all about the fun aspect. I gotta watch myself because I don't want Jeremy not to have fun anymore. Me calling him 5 times, be like, "What are you doing?" Just to talk about the hobby. This is just Jeremy has Courtney, so Jeremy can talk the hobby 24/7. I don't have anyone. So I'm bugging Jeremy 24/7 trying to get him to answer the phone just to talk about a card I picked up. So I gotta be cautious of how much I talk to Jeremy before he's like, I can't handle Manny anymore. Too thick's done.
Side piece.
Think of the girl on her stomach like this.
I know.
Curly Q with the phone, legs up. What you doing? Yeah, what's up, Manny? No, just hanging. What you up to? Just read my kids a goodnight story. Oh, cool. And then there's an awkward pause. Like, so what's up, man? What can I do for you? I was just thinking about cards. What do you think I should do with my cards?
No.
Like, what brings you happiness? I'm cleaning it up, Manny. I know it's a lot worse, but I don't want to steamroll you too bad.
Talk to Courtney. This is the same guy that went to bed and laid in bed and gave me a call to talk cards while he was supposed to be watching a movie with Courtney. So I don't want to hear it. You could ask Courtney that story, and she'll tell you that.
So the truth
Jeremy
comes out.
called me while he was in bed.
No. Here's what you do. Say, hey, Courtney, tell me about the pity call. And there you go. That's all you got to say.
I got to call this freaking guy.
I got to call this guy.
Me all day.
Yeah, let's say
he's going to think I abandoned him if I don't give him a call.
Yeah, you do that. You just look at your phone. You go, "Oh, fuck me, man, not again." Sell it, Manny. You're not going to listen to what I tell you anyway. So what the hell you want to do? Quit wasting my time.
Listen, Jeremy, you just got to pre-record one that goes, "Hello, yeah, man, You should probably do that. I don't know if I would do that, and then just play it on loop, and then Manny's just talking away, and it'll be good.
I'll be happy.
Yeah,
man. Yeah.
He's like, you know what? Jeremy doesn't say much anymore, but he's pretty. But every time we talk, we have a good
listener.
Yeah, he's a great listener.
Yeah. Like a tattoo artist or something.
I was driving to Chicago, and this is what I do. I sell his cards for him. I do the work for him. And so I had a card sold for him a couple weeks ago that he couldn't get rid of. It was like just a card that was weighing him down. And so I'm like, I've got this thing sold. And so he's like, he wanted $50 more. And I was like, fuck me. So I'm like, hey man, 50. So I offered the kid, I was willing to take a $50 hit on the card to get the kid enough cash to make it. So anyway, he's like, well, I want to hold it. So anyway, one night I'm passing through Michigan on my way to Chicago to go to the Skyline show. Big ups to Ludex for having us. And my man is like, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Here's my cards. You know what he gets me? He gets me a 6-pack of beer at 11 o'clock at night when I'm driving to Chicago. Like, I want a coffee. I'm like, what the hell does this guy think I'm doing? I'm going to crack open Mick Ultras and cruise down the road with my kids drinking beer? I'm like, I appreciate the sentiment, but what the fuck is going on in your head, man? I'm not drinking a 6-pack at 11 o'clock at night going to Chicago.
Listen, Manny is part Latino, or full Latino, right? So that in our culture, that's not very far out of bounds.
That's par for the course. Is that what?
Yeah, man. I mean, I
told him to get in the passenger seat, have your daughter drive, and there's your 6-pack.
Yeah, see, that's not foreign. So
exactly.
I'm kind of thoughtful now that I think about it.
Yeah, you know what, Jeremy, you're a bit of a prick there, sir. I don't know, man. That's not cool.
You did. I knew. I'm like, what am I supposed to do this? And he just said, "Si se pueda, si se pueda." I'm like, all right, let's go.
The best thing is, I didn't give him like my Latin beer. I gave him like his beer, like
his beer,
Bush Light that no one drinks. And I gave it to him and was thoughtful about it. I could have gave him like Corona or anything, but I did it.
You got him the natty ice.
Yeah.
Wow, that might be the first time "Si se puede" was said on a podcast. So kudos to you guys.
Hey, yeah, we can go down that hole, but Manny will get schooled in Spanish too. So I'm like, the kid. Here's the thing: I am very fortunate to get to do this, just like you guys get to, just chop it up, have a good time. It's the same way. It's nothing but love, and this is how we operate. I grew up where if you're not busting balls and poking fun, you're not friends. And so it's foreign to me, people that hang out and don't tease and razz each other. I don't quite understand that. So, with that being said, 75 minutes, you guys are awesome. I really appreciate, the humor, the friendship, the transparency. Very proud of what you guys are doing on. And I'm very grateful to call you hobby friends and friends. And, I want to wish you guys nothing but health, wealth, and success. And Oz, quit stealing mail, bro.
Bro, you know what I mean? You put me down that road, and
No
what
turning
can I do?
back.
Now, listen, I would never do anything like that. To the masses, I have the utmost integrity when it comes to my job. I take it serious. I am the people's mailman, and I take my job seriously.
Where can the people find you guys?
People can find us at your local hobby hangout, aka Instagram, at cousins_collectibles, and at Oz is at Oz_the_.
Nope, you froze up.
That was perfect timing.
_ people's mailman.
Yeah.
So
Oh, wow.
He looks like he's doing a very soft.
Yeah. The whole room left.
You hear him?
There you go. He's back.
There you go.
Wow. I saw the whole thing spin out. So where did I leave off?
One of the underscores.
Okay. Yeah. Oz under 80 underscores. Oz_the_peoples_mailman. Jeez.
Listen, bro, I'm an old head. I'm 47, dog. I don't know how to mess with this IG shit.
Come on, man. But listen, we drop podcasts every Monday. Cousins Collectibles podcast. Check us out. Review, boo, whatever. It's all good. But yeah, man, appreciate you guys having us on from day one, man. We've been kicking it. So like you said, hobby friends, real friends. I know when we go up there, we're gonna have. I can't wait, man. We're there Thursday through Sunday, so it's gonna be cool. Looking forward to it. But appreciate you guys having us.
No, we appreciate you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed your hobby release. Before we go, Mr. People's Mailman, this looks like a PSA box in your truck right here.
Yeah,
I'm gonna point that out. I'm just gonna point it out. It looks like a PSA box. It looks like
he looks like he's talking shit to the entire. He looks like he's talking shit to the entire hobby. You can't do nothing to me. He's like, I'm gonna give you one of those. He's gonna wrap this shit up broken. He's gonna give you one of those things that says USPS cares.
That is the same exact box, sir. And for your information, that was my Stranger Things submission that my daughter had made. So don't you dare.
Let's go.
I'll say this before we get kicked off the air. I like how Oz is responsible for every single piece of mail that's delivered
across the United States of America and some foreign countries as well. Yeah. I fly the planes that go back and forth.
And with that, thank you. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Appreciate you guys.